Bush and Billy Bonner George. The Bushes. And we got Squawk Magazine here. A couple of copies left of the magazine in the Naked City Coffee House.
Wow.
And we got a letter from Marina Knight from England, one of our, she used to be here, she's contributing. And I'll read you little portions of this. Salutations, Professor Cyrillus Cusimano. I received your letter today, Mick, and it still seemed to hold the reverb and energy of the mood that you penned it in. So much so, I only sit down after reading it and wish to write immediately. Love it, the energy of your rightful and innocent determination to see and choose. Yes, as we struggle with the lemmings and their apathy, we can always know deep inside that we can choose, even if others don't. This is the meaning of life, the living of it. Marina's a writer, she's writing about writing. Writing should live, for humanity depends on this fearful day and age upon this. Perhaps the muse is being kind to me, the feeling of humor is seeping into my writing, and the fact that it is bubbling under my existence tells me I must go eventually to satire. Only after I've qualified my stance as a human being and hold my craft as I need to, as an implement of a muse needs to. Lord, help the lemmings. Some of the lemmings have been educated, and many educated persons stolen the talent succumb to the demands of society. Physicians, kids, mortgages, etc., rather than protect their minds. So it's us against them. But it's a long haul, Professor Cyrillus. Never throw in that towel. Remember Voltaire, Balzac, Coleridge, Blake, Shelley, Wordsworth, Dante, Galileo, and not least dear Keats, all our friends who have gone before us. Oh, that we could ever be so knowing is doubtful. But did they not discuss in historical context what we now live in actuality? Each man is kind enough to manual, breathing, writing, dedicating his time. And has left for future generations a spark. The light fires by, a light by which we can see our own dark age. And then she says, load of beef and Kriston and all people in Naked City. That's from Marina Knight. Is that time for a minute and a half?
Yeah.
This is something new. It's called the tour guide. I'm pretty lucky this week. I had a show at the Harvard Art Museum, staff show.
Right.
I got a cartoon about Salvador Dali published in Germany, and I got my magazine, Underground Surrealist. This got mentioned in the University of Paris did a thing about the history of surrealism, and they actually put a paragraph about my magazine in there and misspelled my name. This is called the tour guide. While working at Harvard's Fogg Art Museum, I've seen many wondrous sights. One morning, this square pixie of a woman led a tour of people from the Museum of Fine Arts to visit our gallery. She got all excited and animated, describing the paintings. It was infectious just watching her. She's talking about Impressionist paintings when she came upon the Three Shoes by Vincent van Gogh. Pointing to the eyelets for the shoelaces, she said that these paintings were so filled with life that they were almost anthropomorphic. The eyelets of the shoes were almost the eyes of living creatures, she said. I almost backed up laughing, suppressing the urge to tell her that this is a little too preposterous. I wanted to tell her that she was pulling the legs for a sophisticated, oh so serious audience. I had to admire her spunk and unbridled real enthusiasm for these works of art. 7 months later, I saw her teaching a class of Rembrandt's etchings. She was describing a print of Christ appearing to the shepherds. She enthusiastically pointed out the Baroque theatrical treatment of the scene. This scene is set at night, where blinding light reveals a figure that lights up the sky, scaring the shepherds and the flocks. The use of dramatic light and dark is known as chiaroscuro. She pointed out Rembrandt's subtle use of deep emotion in his characters to bring a scene to life. She had me hooked. For the next 3 months, I spent every available moment in the library reading dozens of books about Rembrandt's life and work. I would wait for lunch and hurry down the spiral staircase into the Fine Arts Library and find an oversized book section. There I would look at plates of drawings and paintings. Danae from the Hermitage, Woman in a Stream from the London National Gallery, the Night Watch from the Rijksmuseum. In the cool, silent corner of the library, I would look at these pictures and almost hear music in my ears. Eventually, I discovered Leonardo da Vinci, Hogarth, and other books about movies and cinema. But for a while, I was obsessively addicted to Rembrandt. I signed up for a night course of Baroque with my friend Rose. We got to the class. I was delighted to find out that our teacher was none other than Carol Tainton, the same person who I had seen in a gallery. She talked about Caravaggio and the dramatic use of chiaroscuro that shocked the church leaders who commissioned the painting. She got into Rembrandt's street scenes, exaggerated mannerism, and all the delights of overdone art of the 17th century. She took us at MFA and spent time talking about Gauguin's giant mural of the South Sea mythology. No one taught us any of that stuff when I went to college. It's amazing how excited she got about art. It was her first love. She had her PhD, had been to Europe, Bell Museum. She couldn't get enough art and couldn't tell her audiences enough about what she saw. I gave her a copy of my magazine during our last class. I never really had a chance to stop and talk to her. She was always in a hurry. I used to muse in the back of my head that sometime I would run into her, have a cup of coffee and talk about art, maybe even have an affair. She was attractive and brilliant, but it was her enthusiasm for many stuff-shirt art historians may look down upon that really grabbed me. Recently, I saw Beverly Eicher's performance about the life of Van Gogh. She mentioned that her show was dedicated to Carol, who had died of leukemia. I'm sure she had a cup of coffee together, so I could have said thanks.
Cusimano. All right. It was a good art show, too. Is it open to the public at